Life in the Fast Lane is a documentation of everything that I do. Racing, models, parties, that's just my life. Just crazy madness all the time. Philadelphia has one of the most diverse and complex motorcycle communities because you have so many different types of bikers, from the dirt bike kids running up and down the streets on one wheel to the more hardened motorcyclists, the club members, the weekend enthusiasts, the cafe racers, more the vintage crew. So Philadelphia is a great example of basically the motorcycle world under a microscope. You can pretty much stand in four corners, different corners throughout the city in the course of a weekend and see just about every type of bike roll by you in one way or another. So for me, my position in the Philadelphia, not just Philly, but abroad, regionally, nationally, but specifically at home base, is one of an ambassador. My attitude is, if you ride, you ride. So therefore, we're family. I feel really good about the work that I've done that has allowed me to get to this position in the community where, I know them and they know me, and it's all love. I've been blessed to be able to make my life out of motorcycles, the business of motorcycles. I am a publisher of Sport Bike Sync magazine. I'm also the editor-in-chief. The company Hard Knocks Motorcycle Entertainment, that's something I launched a few years ago. Always on the go. Always on the go. I'm usually home. When I'm home, I'm usually home for maybe a 4 or 5 day stretch before I'm up and out. And this week is no different. The Belmont Plateau. You go there on a Sunday afternoon for no reason at all, real quick and easy. You'll find 300 bikes posted up. Why? Because we can. And we're talking about custom bikes. We're talking about the clubs. We're talking about baggers, cruisers, pretty much street bikes. Pretty much track bikes out there. You see everything at the Platte, and that's probably one of the most famous spots in the Philadelphia bike culture. The Platte is something special. You can't really, it's hard to explain to people what the Platte is. You kind of have to go and see it.
Yeah, y'all. Once again, welcome to the first annual Bikers Beer and Barbecue. Shireen Choi's house, AK's house, Lino. Representative of the Barbarians MC, straight out of Philly, baby. I want to thank each and everybody for participating with us today. Don't forget this day, because same time next year it's going to be bigger and better. Trust me when I tell you, it's just the first edition of Jump Off, you heard me?
If you try to explain to somebody, yeah, we're going to the Platte today, well, why we going to the Platte? You can't really explain why you're going. You're supposed to go. Just shut up and go and see and partake and bear witness to. That's Philadelphia. That right there is special. The Platte is special. Had a couple photo shoots, had to lock down in the city, hung out over at the Garage Bar in Philly, which is between Pat's and Gino's, the steak joints on Passyunk Avenue. So had to wrap up a couple of things over there, make sure that my photographer was on point and the project was moving along the way it needed to be moving along. And now it's time to hop on that flight, head over to Indianapolis for the 2015 MotoGP. Running of the Bulls is what I call them, Red Bull, shout out. And I'm excited to get back to Indy. That's like a home away from home for me. Love Indianapolis, love it.
Hey, I'm Autumn. We're in Indianapolis to do the Red Bull MotoGP. We get to stand around, take pictures with everybody, watch the races. We represent Marquez. I'm Daniela, by the way. So we get to go out, party, show our fans some love, watch the races. It's going to be a blast. Great time.
So right now we gotta check them all in. Awesome hotel, get them all dialed in, give them the rooms, get them all showered, ready to go for the night. But definitely the ambiance of the whole trip too. Obviously very up prettier than I am. They actually are the face of the race. So even the guy who wins the race, which is usually hopefully a Red Bull athlete, the girls get on every website, every page, every photo, at least 101 times viewed the models. So they'll be in tomorrow Red Bull outfits in both days, and they actually start the race. So you're on the grid with all the riders, they're holding the flag for the race to actually start the race. And the most photographed, the most looked upon, most sought after girls on the planet. And they're all like runway, lingerie, real models. Follow me.
Indianapolis is a city that is diverse in its own right. And along the same lines of from where I'm from, Philly, and it embraces the motorcyclist culture and subculture. You think about all the great things that Indianapolis has to offer. You have Lucas Oil Stadium. You have the Indy 500 that happens at the Brickyard. You have so many great things that are part of the history of Indianapolis. And what a lot of people don't acknowledge or realize outside of the bike culture is that Indianapolis itself is actual hallowed ground for motorcycle racing. So I just touched down in Indy, and I get a text from my man Tony, and Tony is one of my people that works for Dorna. Dorna is the sanctioning body for MotoGP. Tony says, hey, the crew's getting back together. We'll see you at Kilroy's. Kilroy's is a great spot on Meridian Street, downtown Indy. You have to keep in mind, because MotoGP is international, a lot of my friends and family, people that are involved with MotoGP on one level or another, travel the world. So we might only get to see each other maybe once or twice a year. So we take full advantage of those opportunities to get together and kick it. So going to head over to Kilroy, catch up with my man Tony, Danny, who also works for Dorna, a couple other cats, and of course my man BT. BT is a comedian who is from Indianapolis, and the best way I could describe BT, he is me on about 20 cans of Red Bull. He is on go all the time. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with my dudes and just catching up and seeing how their lives have been over the last couple of months.
Do you wanna dance? Yeah! Moving, grooving, slip and slide. Yeah! Come on, baby, don't you
always good to see my family. Hadn't seen those guys since April for the Austin GP. So, it was cool to see everybody, but also got a chance to catch up with Tony. And, we discussed a little bit of business, things that are going on with the weekend. We got 3 days of GP, that we're looking forward to. So, went over a couple things on his schedule and just caught up with him about what he's been dealing with inside the organization, and it's all good. Dorna runs a great and tight ship, but it's a ship that's always moving forward. So some of the things that Tony put me onto were some of the, what their plans were for next year. He could not confirm or deny certain things, if they were coming back to Indianapolis for 2016. But I'm hoping that they do, because Indy, that's home away from home.
That was close. That was really close, Allan. That was a wow. Yeah, that was a wow moment.
I love you like a brother.
Not like that, though.
Not like that.
BT, and we were recording the first ever BTGP podcast, and I'm proud to present my boss, my employer, my friend, and everything, confidant, everything, Mr. Allan Lane of Sport Bikes Inc. What's up, Al?
What's going on, BT? Good to be here, brother.
Man, we're doing the first ever
He
podcast.
asked me to be his guest, his first guest on his very first podcast. And, you know, anything for a friend is always a good look to help somebody else, especially somebody who I care about, somebody who I consider a friend, a brother. And I was honored. I was honored to be asked to be, you know, the first guest on the MotoGP BT podcast.
Folks, say hello to downtown MotoGP experience.
You don't get to see a lot of the actual professional part of the stunt riding. It's a new thing. There's not a lot on TV, so this is really the only way to see it. And it's really hard to explain, but we do a lot of things that you thought weren't possible on a motorcycle, and it doesn't happen on the street. It happens here in these shows, and especially with the Icon show with me and Rob.
I'm 12 and my dad got me into the bike life. But on school days, it's just like get out, wait for dad to come home and ride. Like, it's not a sport, it's a lifestyle.
I've been working with Icon for a long time, and they've been one of my greatest supporters and sponsors pretty much since day one, since I came into the game. You can see it, smell it, taste it when an Icon show has been through. Burning rubbers, smoke, the music, the aggression, the attitude of not so much the riders, but the bikes themselves. And that's something that, you know, you really kind of have to be there to be with. But you can look on the faces of the fans, of the crowd, the people who are witnessing it, and you can see how intensely they are involved with what's going on. I mean, like, you look at some of the people and their faces are like, oh, did that just happen? Oh my God, is he gonna fall? No, it's crazy. I'm getting ready to get myself together to head over to Motorcycles on Meridian, Icon, Limiter Live, the street scene, to be part of that. And I needed to check in with my guys over at Icon to make sure that everything was on deck for the night. I show up and I see my co-host Rob. And you know, Rob and I have known each other for a little bit. We worked together last year. Rob's greeting was a little bit less than warm, you know, but it's cool. You know, I have a very simple life philosophy, one of many, and I call it KIM, K-I-M, and that's keep it moving.
I just met Black Moses today, and Allan, I thought he was doing a lot of announcing for Icon at one point, and I thought he would actually be here announcing for us, but he must be busy doing some other stuff.
So I step off from the venue, which was on Meridian Street, walk down a block or two, and I get a text from my man Justin, and Justin is the general manager at Icon. Asked me to give him a call. Cool. Head in the blue, check over some things, everything's cool. My buddy Jessica from Triumph, you know, she was there putting one of the bikes on display. I take a moment, call Justin. Justin, hey buddy, what's going on? And Justin informs me that Rob had called Justin and said, in so many words, he wanted to be the only one on the microphone for Limiter Live. And I kind of get it. With no disrespect to Rob, I'm younger, I'm better looking, and I might just be better at the gift of gab than Rob is. So it wasn't personal from Rob. He was protecting what he thought was his, and I can respect that. You know, that's the game. That is the game, to protect what you think is yours, even when it clearly isn't.
I heard Black Moses, if you mention that name, it parts the doors of any club in Indianapolis. That's just a word on the street. Black Moses, you say it, and all of a sudden, the water parts, the fish go to both sides, and you're straight in the door.
So I told Justin, I can be whatever Icon needs me to be because I'm comfortable with my relationship with Icon. But my mom is from Sumter, South Carolina, and my dad is from North Philly. So what you have in me is a little bit of, you know, good old country gentleman, but, you know, North Philly is North Philly. So it's important for me to be able to, in those moments, to kind of check myself and check in with Mom Dukes. Mom?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
It was funny. There was a situation with the dude. Remember the guy I was telling you about that had a little, he felt a certain type of way last year. I don't know if you remember it, but when we were emceeing together, he felt a certain type of way. He made a little bit of noise, but it all worked out. It always works out. So it was a good look. We took the lemons and made lemonade, so it was a good look. So, but yeah, now I'm up in the room and getting ready to go to the party. But I love you, all right? I love you and Daddy.
I love you and have fun.
All right, Mama.
All right, that's all.
I holler. And my mom is always there for me. You know, she always has the right thing to say to put me back in focus. Even if I think I'm in focus, a quick conversation with my mom will have me more focused than what I thought focus was. Streets. Bye. And it's always funny when we get off the phone with each other, I always say streets. You know, that's like, all right, Mom, I'm about to hit these streets. Over the years, it's just become real quick, like, all right, Mom, love you, streets. My mom will say it before I do. My mom, love you, baby, streets. And it's just the funniest thing to hear my mom holler streets. It's cool. So here we are, you know, getting ready for the big party that kickstarts the entire GP weekend, the SBI MotoGP Takeover Party at Blue. Indy's #1 night spot. And I always have a good time at this club, whether I'm throwing a party or hosting or not. It's one of my chill spots in Indianapolis. I love the whole crew over there. My homegirl Molly, who has pretty much facilitated everything that I needed to get set up for the entire weekend. It's interesting to see how people try to process, you know, you can see, who is that dude? You know, is he a football player? He's too big to be a rider, you know, what's his deal? In these situations when I'm at a party or something that I hosted or something that I put together, it's really important for me to pay attention to my guests. I typically don't have a good time about maybe 2 or 3 hours into it. I kind of want to make sure everybody else is cool. Good people, good music, great alcohol, but even hotter women. And on cue, just as I was starting to have a good time, in comes my buddy Jason Nonamaker with the Red Bull Girls, and I'm talking about 10 of the finest looking promotional umbrella girl models, whatever. These girls walked in after a long day. Now these girls had a long day at the track doing promo stuff. They're the official Red Bull models. So you would think that after an 8-hour day of these girls hitting the asphalt in the pumps, walking around, smiling, taking pictures, that they would walk in looking a little tired. Not the case. They walked in, stole the show. It was a party before they got there. When they walked in, it turned into something else. You gotta give the love to those who are giving love. Make this real quick, real short and sweet. I want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to my brother Jason Nonamaker and the lovely Red Bull Girls. I want to give a shout out to Triumph. Where's Jess at? I know the Triumph people are in the building. Shout out to them. Good looking out. I want to give a shout out to Icon Motorsports all day. Shout out to my brother. I'm a kid from Philadelphia. You know, that's in essence all that I am. And I've been able to take my love and passion of motorcycles and riding to a level where I am a part of, I'm not just attending, but I am a part of the international motorcycle event, MotoGP racing. And that's the highest level. There is nothing higher than that. And I'm part of that machine. I'm part of that industry. And I'm more than thankful and more than grateful to the people and organizations that have allowed me or helped me to get to this point in my career. Begin a marathon of events, activities at the track, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and, you know, just getting ready to rock out with my friends and family doing this thing we call MotoGP. It is unlike anything else on this planet, in this universe. in existence. A MotoGP racer is an alien. We're talking about guys who are clocking well over 200 miles per hour. You know, warp speed, the sound, okay? That's just seconds of them just, when they go right past you. The hospitality area of the MotoGP paddock is a really cool spot to witness how close-knit the community is. Their food is the best because of my boy Omar. My boy Omar is the chef at Alpine Stars. You talk about a passionate chef. And so when I can go as far as to say that Alpine Stars, who have been part of the motorcycle industry for decades. I mean, Google Alpine Stars. If you don't know who they are, you should, you know. You might want to kick yourself in the head.
Do you want to dance? Yeah! Moving, grooving, slip and slide. Yeah!
After dinner, we head over to the Red Bull after party, and that's where it all goes down. That's the pinnacle of the weekend. People thought that they saw Black Moses all weekend long. No, Black Moses is about to walk through the door and it's gonna be hit. So that's my life. Super crazy, super fast. Started off last week in Philly, hanging out at the Platte. Next thing you know, I'm on a plane, Indianapolis MotoGP, the racing, the models, the parties, the SBI MotoGP takeover, the Red Bull after party, the good life, you know, just doing what we do. And I think I have a couple meetings somewhere in the Midwest, so I'm not really... Hello? Yeah. Okay. Right now? All right, yo. All right, cool. We